Batgirl in the Birds of Prey Rebirth issue 1, written by Julie and Shauna Benson and art by Claire Rowe. And I was looking forward to this. I've missed having a Batgirl book to read. We're going to have two, because we've got the other one next week. So this, of course, is Batgirl reteaming with Black Canary and Huntress to hunt down someone who is posing or pretending to be Oracle. The crime network that she ends up dealing with is getting their information from Oracle, and that's kind of the setup for the story. Now, I am going to start with a negative point about this book. I do have issues with the art.
I do as well.
Yeah, it was kind of spotty in most places.
Now, I think some panels look quite good, but there's one consistent problem that I have throughout the issue, and that's the mouths of characters. I think their lips are really weird, and I think actually see on the page after the title page, and the top panel is a Batgirl sort of jumping down and kicking someone in the face. I don't know what expression her mouth is supposed to be making there, but it looks really creepy.
It does. I think they all do that. Even the panel below that, she looks like really pouty.
Yeah.
And also in that one, her whole body posture is just weird. Like, her neck seems really low down and tucked in, while she's got an outstretched arm. Like, it's just... There's a lot of that throughout the issue, I think.
It's almost like they're going for like a sort of boxing pose there, like a sort of like low jab kind of thing.
Yeah, but it just doesn't work.
I don't disagree. I mean, I think typically the costume looks good, and I think when we're not seeing mouths too much, like I think the flashbacks look mostly good.
Yeah. It's telling that one of my favourite panels is her covering her mouth.
Yeah, I agree, actually. That's a good panel. So yeah, the book actually, it's a Rebirth issue, so they do the whole thing where they catch everyone up to speed, and they give you kind of a brief history of Batgirl. I actually really like that we get to see what her like original outfit was now, because obviously continuity is like chopped and changed so much. I like getting a little glimpse of her in her like old grey suit, you know. I think that's pretty cool, but it just gives you like a thing, and I like that it sets up that her dad's her hero as well as Batman. Like they're both influences. Like that's a big point she makes. And it's nice to have Batgirl back like that. And it clearly explains Killing Joke happened. She was in a wheelchair. She was Oracle, which is obvious given the premise of the book. But the New 52 book was messing around with that a little bit for a little while.
Yeah, towards the end they started like debating whether or not it was retconning it.
Yeah. So it also explains how she ended up teaming up with Black Canary, formed the Birds of Prey, and all that, and that's all cool because it sets up everything. Yeah. And it's nice that when this situation comes up, she goes back to Dinah to like help her solve it. Like that friendship's an important part, and I actually ended up really liking this book because I think as much as I have some grievances with the art, I think the character relationships and the dynamics are all really strong. And I think it's great to have Barbara back where I'm not cringing constantly. Because they set up in this that she's really good with technology, but they're not shoving fake Facebook and fake Twitter and QR codes down as every two panels.
I'm trying to think of the word. It's not quite quirky, but like the last Batgirl, the whole Burnside stuff was meant to be like, well, look how relevant we are with what's going on nowadays. And, like Pete just said, they try to force feed it. Like, I remember you telling me that she defeated a villain with a QR code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's what made me not check out the whole Burnside stuff. And because I don't want to use the hipster word, but that's kind of what it was,
It's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And same with Black Canary, which I was really on board for the art. And the whole she's in a band thing was just so weird. And I'm glad that they've put that behind here.
Yeah. I mean, they've still got it in her history, but yeah, she's moved on from it. I like that they go back to a clock tower, which is cool.
Yep.
Nice bit of Birds of Prey, imagery there that we like seeing. And obviously Huntress, who we set up as leaving from Nightwing Rebirth issue 1 last week. I actually really like her introduction scene. She's in a confessional,
I love that's like some of the best art. I think it's the colors as well. Really makes it pop.
Yeah, it's all the sort of the orange squares from the grating on her, but
Yeah.
she's got all the purple, so yeah, it looks really nice.
And we have Helena Bertinelli back because this is when she was first introduced. You know, the Huntress, not as the Elseworlds, you know, daughter of Batman and Catwoman version. This version, you know, her father was involved with the mafia, and now she's gonna atone. The only way she knows how, and that's with crossbows.
Yeah, yeah, because that's the whole thing. Is you find out that the person she's talking to is someone who she just came to target because they're doing whatever. I can't remember what she says they did, but and then it nicely converges the two stories because they've Batgirl and Batgirl and Black Canary have tracked this guy, and that's the next person on her list. So the two stories nicely converge, and I really like them fighting together and their banter. Like you know, her saying, "You don't really need me," but then she saves us like, "Yeah, look what I did there," you know, and things like that. There's some good fun playing between them in that sense. So I like that this. It still feels like it can appeal to a young audience, but it's not. It's not alienating me.
Right.
You know,
Well, and this is what a Rebirth issue should be, where it addresses the past but sets up stuff for the future. Like, it didn't feel like this was just an issue 1.
No,
like some of
definitely
the others
not.
have. So
At the same time, though, it still feels more relevant to the next issue than a lot of the Rebirth ones have, because it feels like it feels like it's going to continue right from where it left off. You know?
Yeah. See, the thing is, the art really took me out of this, the whole issue. It stopped me enjoying it quite a lot. Even though I agree with everything you're saying here about the character relationships or the dynamics, and they are great, but I just didn't enjoy it that much because I was constantly just taken out of it. Like every other page, it felt like.
It didn't. I mean, I had issues with the art, but it didn't do that to me. Like I still really liked the book overall.
Every action sequence, I was just like, ugh, it was a chore to get through.
See, I read this at 4:30 in the morning, so I was just trying to get through it when I read it. So, you know, eating
Fair
breakfast,
enough.
reading comics. So the art, I did notice it in spots, but it wasn't a deal breaker. So
I agree with that. It's not a deal breaker for me either. I mean, I wish it was better, obviously, but
of course, I mean the cover art looks fantastic. Like, but it's Yannick Paquette. So what else?
Yeah,
Of course it looks great.
there are bits in there that look really great, but then there's other bits that just I have to like make myself read the panel 3 times just to get through it.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think for me, like obviously, I want good art, but I can get through bad art if the writing's really great.
Yep.
More than I can get. Like if the writing's bad and the art's good, I can read the book. You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't
That's
care.
why I dropped Eternal. Yeah, because I couldn't take. There's funnily enough, that the Batgirl down in Argentina issue, and just the art I thought was god awful, and it stopped me from wanting to read Eternal because I'm like, well, if there's gonna be every other issue looks like this, then it's not worth a weekly. So
In the end, though, I did quite like the book. I actually really enjoyed it. I just have those big issues with the art.
yeah,
Yeah, fair enough. I liked it, but I didn't love it by any means.